Hi guys, Candia here with Simply Candia. I'm back to share a journal I made last night when I couldn't sleep during the middle of the night. I call it my Scrappy Junky Junk Journal. It is made with all my scraps. I keep my scraps in like this file folder and they're bursting out and I needed to do something with them, so I decided to use them to make a journal. I have made a journal like this before for myself and I thought somebody else might enjoy one like it as well. So I use the calendar for the cover, and it's the outside of the calendar, so it's thick. It's from a 1993 calendar, as you can see, and it just has this beautiful illustration. All the pages in the calendar did have beautiful illustrations, and I did use one page in here, but I'm gonna keep the other pages for other journals. It's a little bit alligator mouth, so I closed it with a ball pin, safety pin, and have this pretty bead dangling on it, and I sewed on this trim on the front and the back that has this beautiful blue polka dot and with this lace, and I thought it would just kind of went with the eclectic style that this journal has. Now when you're not using the clothes, when you're using the journal, you can just pop the pin right on the front lace and just leave it there, and that way you don't lose it. I left all the danglies, did lots of sewing in here, left them all hanging. If you don't like them, you can trim them off. So I used a cut off of an old file folder that I have here for a pocket, and I have 3 pieces of cut off paper that I stuck in there that you can use for journaling cards, or you can add them into the journal somewhere. In my journal, I've added a lot of stuff by stapling it in after I made it. I used this little Remember Me. It's from the back of the calendar where they have the samples of what the calendar is going to look like. This is a big paper that you can journal on. So I sewed all the pages together because they're a lot like these where they're just thin strips. So I sewed 2 pages together for most of these, and it gave me a full page and lots of sewing threads to hang down, and it looks lots of fun and sewn in there. An extra ledger piece of paper that I had hanging out, some magazine paper, this fun Prima paper that I kept this strip because I love the little bicycle built for 2 part of it. This one I had 2 of the same piece of paper strips left, so I made a little pocket so you can stuff stuff in there, and then just a journaling spot there. Lots of places to journal. Lots of different, there's no particular style. On this page I sewed all because the pages were all a little too long, so I cut them all off to fit inside the calendar, and so I took all of the pieces that were left over and sewed them all together to make another page with all the pieces of paper that are in here, and I just love the way it turned out. It's so eclectic and junky and really represents how this journal. Another little tuck spot that I stapled in here from the back of the calendar. Lots of fun paper. I stapled on some pages onto this piece of magazine cover. This magazine paper has a beautiful quote, or nice thing about the sun in it. And this one was sewn on to this paper, and it was like a nice little flip, so I just stapled this onto that so that it would be a kind of a separate page of its own. Little tuck spot here if you wish. An old bag. Another tuck spot. Those are stapled on tuck spots, so you have the staples on the back side. Here is the center of the signature where I put the page I used from the calendar. Get the words out. They're coming. Here's another little tuck spot. Here's the other side of that bag. And some of the papers are coffee dyed. This is kind of like a little tuck spot. Here's another one of that piece of paper with the bicycle upright. You can use these as tuck spot. You can staple them together at the ends if you want them to be tuck spots, or you can attach stuff to them. The other side of that sewn together page. Another little calendar tuck pocket. This one I did staple together so that it can be a tuck spot. The other end of that pocket. I think this turned out real cute. That's why it's all my scrap papers. That's why instead of calling it like a junky junk journal, I'm calling it a scrappy junk journal. It doesn't have, I mean, it's all little junky pieces that we save and keep in our stash for a rainy day, but they're more scrappy pieces than junk pieces. And some more tags and little journaling cards in here, or you can add them into the book as well. And let me show you what the full of the outside looks like. Isn't that a beautiful cover? Love the illustration from the calendar. So I found this calendar at an antique shop and I just thought it was super fun. So that's this journal. I hope somebody enjoys it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.